Some of our offensive staff did show up here today. They finally figured out how to get here. Coach DeSalvo is our head coach. Ryan Bird, O-coordinator, he works a lot with our D-line as well. As far as our defensive staff, like I said, I'm a defensive coordinator. I've been doing it for 3 years now. Worked underneath Ben Lamb for a while. My background, I played ball at Illinois State for a few years. 3 years started down there. Played underneath Matt Entz, who's now the defensive coordinator at North Dakota State. Everything I learned pretty much defensively, I learned from him. That was a genius. Zach Turpin could be here today, so also our varsity basketball coach, as well as our special teams with our DBs. Pat Hook works with our D linemen, specifically our DNs. We kind of tagged him as our technology coordinator, specifically on game days, with all of our huddle stuff, with setting up huddle sideline, end zone camera. He kind of takes charge with that, which makes our lives easier because it's just one person. It's not three of us trying to figure out how to get balanced on. What I want to cover today with you guys is kind of what our defensive philosophy is, what's worked for us the past 3 years. What we do a little bit as far as position drills, hope you can get something out of that, and kind of what we do as a weekly prep. Starting from Saturday, once the previous week gets done, all the way until Friday night for that game day that evening. So a little bit of what we do. We are 50 front. Our main thought is our goal is to stop the run. Just like Xavier coach had said, we want to make teams as one-dimensional as we can by stopping the run and controlling the line of scrimmage. We've been pretty fortunate the past 3 years to have some good ass kickers up front. Usually that's the one position group where we try to eliminate as much of two-way players as possible. I know Coach Berg and I would kind of sit down, okay, who's your starting five? Who's my starting five going to be in the front five, and where can we rest those guys the most? We're not huge. What was our enrollment last year, guys? 400?
406.
406. We had how many varsity players?
71.
Varsity? Yeah, varsity. 40. So we had a lot of guys playing both ways. So usually those front fives where we try to get some rest because they're banging heads every single time. And the staples that we've always put together and get a mindset with it from day one is we want our defense to be fast, mentally and physically, extremely physical, and insanely disciplined. And I'll kind of touch on that as how we get those up throughout the season. Our result has kind of been there the past 3 years. We've had some pretty good success. Now, not gonna lie, we've had some damn good football players. All right. 2014, we were in St. Croix still at that point, I believe. Weren't we? We with you guys still? Lost in level 3, gave up 14 points per game. Lost in level 3 to eventual state champs in Somerset. 2014 in third place. 2015, probably, in my mind, the best defense we had. And the first year in the middle order, both losses were the same team. Lost to Osceola in level 3. Essentially, we did convert basically on a Hail Mary the last play of the game, which could have probably sent in overtime. Probably could use Rogers with the same day. And then last year, we had to replace a lot. Basically, to win our last regular season game to even make the playoffs. Struggled with things here and there. And we were able to fight out a playoff run. We got fortunate enough to finish down at the camp. But for us, the 16.5 gave up too many points in the second half in a lot of games. Is what it came down to for us. And actually, we've been going back at film already trying to figure out where our mistakes were with what we had. So go ahead, Dave. I hate to say it, I'm biased. Defense wins titles and controlling the ball for damn near over the entire game. If you look at the 7 teams that won titles last year, you break it down, they combined for 14.25 points per game in the postseason. Okay? If they can't score, your odds are pretty good you're going to win. All right? And our goal is 2 touchdowns. 13 points is the goal we set each week. They don't get more than 13. Okay, if they do score twice, we better block one of the PATs and not let them convert if they're going for 2. Okay? We preach it all the time. The second thing we preach constantly to them is you got to create turnovers. If we can create turnovers, that's another positive thing for us. Not only turnovers, through interceptions, fumbles, punt blocks, 3 and outs. We consider a 3 and out a turnover because we're getting the ball, or not 3 and out. 3 and out, or even forcing them 4th down. We want to get that ball back. If they can't, they own the ball. I know Berg and our offense is going to control it with our option game. We're going to run the clock down. We're going to wear things down. We're going to be okay. All right. So our main philosophy, like I said, we're fast, we're physical, we're disciplined. Talking a little bit, we are a 50 front. I should have mentioned this earlier. We are a strictly man-to-man team. Our defensive backs are most of our basketball players. We are man-to-man all over the field. I tell them if your kid goes to the bathroom, you're going to wash his hands with him when he's done. All right, you are everywhere he goes, the entire game. We tried to dabble with some zone my first year. Just turned into trying to mix the zone and man-to-man concepts for our kids. It was too tough, considering we don't get a bunch of time with them because they do play both sides of the ball. And we'll talk about how we do our man-to-man stuff. All right, fast. I look at it 2 ways. I want my players to be physically fast, and damn it, they got to be mentally fast. If they don't know where to go, I don't care if you can run a 4.540, you're running the wrong direction. Okay, if you don't know where your read is and where you're supposed to go. All right? We do pursuit drills a couple different ways. The good old-fashioned rabbit. All right? We try to take advantage of our time as much as possible. So I'll draw, we'll have simple play cards. So we'll have the 5 cans, the 5 linemen, and I'll have a group of 6 guys come out. They'll line up in a formation. Our defense has to line up appropriately, get in the right spot, snap it, hit the rabbit, go run them down. Okay? So we're getting formation adjustments at the same time. Assignment and alignment. Are you in the right spot? If you're not in the right spot to snap, you might as well not even play that snap. Okay? We do 10 tackles to the uprights. I've never seen kids fight so hard to tackle a bag. We'll set 10 bags up down the sideline, tackle all 10 bags. If you don't get a bag, you got to go run and touch the uprights. Okay? I've never seen 2 D tackles, Dumb and Dumber pretty much, Schmidt and Madison, because they know they're fighting for that 10th bag. Okay? Because if they don't get to that 10th bag, they know they ain't going to beat the DBs the first 9. Never seen them fight so hard against that 10, because they know they got to go an extra 40 yards to go to the uprights. We do double whistle during Team D. First whistle stops the play. You better be within the ball at the second whistle. All right? We're taking advantage of our team defense as much as we can. Limited time. Obviously, we only so much time the WA allows us. We're going to take advantage of that time, get as much work out of them, get them running. A lot of times, if they're working their ass off in that team stuff and that pursuit stuff, we don't have to do conditioning at the end of practice, or not as long, because we're getting our conditioning in during our team. Mentally fast. Like I talked about, our kids, they gotta know where to go. All right? We watch more film than you probably should ever need to. Okay? I made a joke with Tony this year. I probably watch more film than anyone's supposed to. I refer to film as sex. Okay? You can never get too much film. Okay? And even if you get bad film, it's still pretty good. Okay? During our playoff run, I had a lot of sex. Okay? For those 5 weeks. Alright? Our guys, we watch it with them. I usually get stuff going in the mornings. We watch practice. I want them to know exactly what they're going to see on Friday night, and I want them to see it hundreds of times before they see it live in front of them. Again, taking advantage of time, we run 2 scout teams, usually. We take everyone possible. I know Berg usually has to run quarterback sometimes in the second scout team, or we'll have injured reserve guys run linemen on the second scout team. Our first scout team, in the playoff runs, Coach DeSalvo even takes them during team Indy time, and he practices their plays. Okay, so they've practiced the spread read option. They've practiced the jet sweep, because we don't run that in our offense, but our scout team practices it. So when we come to team offense or team defense, they know what they're doing. I'm not trying to sit back here and go, what the hell? Why aren't you blocking this guy? Why aren't you running that? Where's our timing? They're already ready to go. A couple of years ago, we played Duran. Anyone know anything about Duran? You guys, single wing, right? It's crazy to try to replicate. We actually had our scout team watching film during the week on them. Okay, so they could learn what they were doing. We actually had a bet with our scout team that if we got to a running clock, we'd let them go out and run a couple plays on a Friday night. We didn't quite get there. We run a formation group as well. So after the play group leaves, formation group comes out right away, and we're just aligned formations. Okay? Because that second group, yeah, they could run a play, but we're talking 4th and 5th string kids by then. Am I really benefiting having my first string guys run a play against kids that can barely line up in the right spot? Absolutely not. But can I get a benefit out of them lining up and knowing where to get to? Absolutely. I hate to say it, some of those kids haven't even played football. I tell them to go line up as a tight end. I see like 7-yard splits and the kid's standing up like this. I'll number them so they know where to go, and I'll even label on the sheet, you should be 3 yards from the end man on the line of scrimmage. Okay, so they know exactly where to go, and I put that time in on my own. It makes us much faster and more efficient in practice. You don't have the kid that usually probably has an IEP that doesn't know anything what's going on, but he looks at that sheet, he goes, I'm number 2, I am in the backfield 1 by 1. He knows exactly where to go. He's my formation group. Okay, we take advantage of it. One thing we picked up a couple years ago, talking about scout team, how many of you guys offensively probably practice 2-minute drill stuff? I would assume, yeah? How many of you practice 2-minute stuff defensively? It can be hard at times, okay, because that scout team's got to know their play before they come out. What we started doing is I'll have my defense huddle with me about 10 yards, 15 yards from the line of scrimmage facing me. I'll have the scout team get up. The scout team will be set. They'll be ready to snap the ball. I'll tell them to play. They got to turn around and run. Instantly, I recognize the formation, get in their stance, and I'll tell that scout team quarterback to snap it almost as soon as they get in their 3 points. Okay? So they have to all learn to communicate simultaneously, get the check done within a couple of seconds. It's not, okay, here comes the scout team. All right, they're getting set up, and now we got time to adjust. They got to think fast. Okay, they got to adjust fast. We'll even do it where we'll start over maybe towards the sideline. Play finished by the sideline, running from the side quickly, and adjust right away. Okay, making sure we're mentally there, we know what's going on, we're communicating with each other. Physical, you guys know, sometimes you got those kids that still want to play physical. Okay, for us, probably not going to be on the field. All right. For us, our physical thing is a mindset. It's an attitude thing. We install it day 1 when we start in. Last year's July 31st. Wasn't it for equipment handout? I think it's even earlier this year. Okay. We install it right away. It's from energy from our coaches. We emphasize the gets the fight. Your buddies are fighting over there. Why aren't you there helping them out? Okay. They may have a stud. In my mind, this is one of the best kids we played last year. Okay, quarterback of River Valley. He was a pain in the ass to try to handle. All right? We said if we have 4 guys, 3 guys at the fight, I'll take our 3 guys versus one of them any day of the week. You get to the fight. If your buddy's fighting, you better be there backing them up. You sprint, you get your pursuit lanes. I don't care who's in front of you. If we have more guys than they do, we will win that fight. All right? That's one thing we emphasize them right away. Get to the fight. You're all fighting together, 11 guys at one time. All right? Physically, one thing that's really fortunate for us, we have an administration that is in full support of off-season training for us. These are pictures from our summer lifting. We run 3 lifting sessions, 6 a.m., 7:30 a.m., 9 o'clock a.m., and we run a 6 p.m. session in the evening. And I would say our morning sessions are probably the most packed. The 6 a.m. and 7:30 are packed. Okay? And we usually have 2 people staffed to work it. And there is paid positions for our summer program, which is really fortunate. We get a lot of guys there within those summer programs. Actually, we even get a lot of middle school kids showing up too. If you can get the volleyball coach, your girls cross country coach, your girls track coach, and girls basketball coach, you get their girls to show up, I guarantee your boys will follow. Okay? There's something there for them to look at while they're working out. Alright? You get the girls there, the guys will follow. It usually works out. We run pretty good in-season programs, and we always emphasize the three-sport athlete. We want them doing something. If our football kids right now, I'll start talking with them this week, if they're not out for baseball with Bird, they better be out for track with me. Right, they're doing something. I'm just going to go work out in the spring. No, we're all working out. We're all active. We're three-sport athletes. Our school isn't big enough to specialize. That's another issue as well, in my mind. And Christ, they have fun with it. There's more 4.0s than you can imagine in that picture, and they had Thug Day one morning. Okay? And they all dressed like they were some gangsters, and they struck some weird gang signs and took a picture. Okay? They host their own little fun stuff. They have like throwback days on Sundays and stuff, and they have fun with their summer programs. But our numbers have been really good with it. And actually, we just got a brand new weight room and stuff, so hopefully it continues to increase. As far as drills that we do during the season, talking about the physically fast thing, we do some open field stuff. The comment was said earlier, how much tackling. David said he doesn't do much during the week. I would say we don't actually hit a lot during the week. We do some form tackling stuff, but it's the quickest whistle you could imagine. Basic open field, the sideline drill, I refer to that as the Brady Willett quit drill. We had a cornerback this year, could run down everybody. He was a podium guy at 300 hurdles. His spatial recognition was quite bad at times. I don't know how many times he'd run down a kid and run right past him. Okay, so we worked the Brady Willett quit drill. Sideline's an All-American. Sideline never misses a tackle. Okay, if the sideline misses a tackle, I'll make sure that ref knows. So basically it was just get on the hip, sprint to get on the hip from an angle, and just push him out of bounds. Okay? Slow down, do whatever you gotta do, make that sideline make the tackle. The dive and sweep the foot. This is another open field tackle that we worked on with my linebackers mostly. Bird, you want to come out here? This might be hard to see. No. So Bird was really fast, and I couldn't quite catch him. Okay, stop right there. We'll do it as a stationary drill. I'll have my linebacker basically on all fours. Okay, put your left foot forward. And I'll have him just sit here, and just on set hit, his job will be slide and slap the foot. Okay, because if he's running, what's that foot going to do? Go behind the back one, trip him, he's on the ground. Okay, and we'll make it more difficult. We'll push him way back because we're not going to practice running full speed and diving at people. Okay, well again, we'll put him on all fours, hit the whistle, don't dive and slap the foot. Okay, get him on the ground. Okay, yeah, they got a big play, they got an open field. We got him on the ground, we can line back up and we can prevent him from scoring. Okay, and obviously basic tackle stuff. We usually do tackle circuits. We do it right at the start of team defense. We split our coaches up in about 5 groups. For about a minute we run. Pretty quick. Bang, 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 get around, get out, be done. Or we'll do a turnover circuit, strip and recover. Basic stuff you guys have all done probably before. Ball carriers running, find the point, rip the point, get on the ball, bring it back. We emphasize strip and recover all the time. I want my linebackers, my D-line and my DBs, that no matter for the first, second, third guy to tackle, the minute they feel the ball, it is instant, second nature to instantly try to pull it. Okay? Get the ball on the ground. It shouldn't be like, oh, I'm here, oh, where's the ball, and then start going for it. As soon as they feel the tip, they're pulling it out. So we muscle memory that constantly. So it's second nature during the games for them. Basic recover the fumble stuff. This one's been kind of nice for us. Punt block. We'll actually practice our punt block stuff during the week in our turnover circuits. I forgot the stat I saw once, but it was if a team that blocks a punt, their probability of winning the game skyrockets. Okay? Now, if that block punt turns into a touchdown, it goes up even more. Some teams will maybe take all the time in the world, develop these elaborate schemes, get all 10 guys moving around just to set up the punt block. We usually designate 2 guys. Last year was our Mike linebacker and our outside linebacker. On punts, I told him, Cole, I said, Cole, you go watch film, I'll watch it too. You find the one guy in their punt team that you can take advantage of. Okay? If it's the right guard that doesn't move its feet, if it's the left tackle that comes in and he's a sophomore and all he is on special teams. Okay? You go find that one guy that you think you can beat, and we'll set something up with just you and Ryan to go block the punt. Okay? Bird, you want to come back out again? Thank you, move around. With punt blocking, he's my punter. Two things I talked to those guys who work with them that are kind of designated as our blockers. Understanding is a right-footed or left-footed punter. Right-footed punter. So if I'm starting on his right side, my aiming point is obviously his right foot, but if I'm on this side, I need to stay on this side the entire time if I'm rushing up the middle. Okay? I don't want this kid to cross his face, because if you miss, your probability of running into him increases. Okay? You also see these guys that are also trying to block for punts way up here. It's not the way we teach it. It's not the way we were coached in college either. I tell him his aiming point is we want him to block it off the foot with his hands crossed and low. Okay? So whatever we have set up, Cole gets free, his aiming point is going to stay on this side, hands down, hands crossed, block it, and run straight through the block point. Okay? If it's a do or die situation, we may tell him to leave his feet and go for it. If it's on the other side, and he's rushing from this side, say we have this right guard that we know we can take advantage of, same type of deal, but now we'll tell him he has to cross the face. Obviously, he's right footed punter. He's got to get to the right side. So same type of thing. We'll practice a drill, he'll rip or whatever, come through, run through the block point, hands down, watch it come off the foot, scoop and score type of deal. Hands crossed, because if hands are here, obviously you can go straight through them. I hate watching them block punt go straight through a dude's hands because they weren't crossed. Okay, cross the hands, there's no way it's going to go through for us. We do work some little bit of interception stuff, pretty basic, cut and throws. Not a big fan of the tip drill. Probability of someone tipping the ball and having to catch it doesn't happen a bunch. If you can't catch a ball, it's floating down back at you. It's too bad. Okay, we got some guys that probably can do that. We want kids with hands. Okay, our D linemen, we work a lot of screen stuff. Okay, read and react to the screen instead of trying to catch stuff in open field. Our discipline comes down to trust. Player to coach, coach to player. That player may trust me completely, but if I can't trust him completely, it's not going to work. Same thing goes the other direction. I may trust that player, but if he doesn't trust that I'm making the right calls, it's not going to work. There's many times where as a coach, you got to take ownership. They make a big play. I'm thinking of, we played Oslo week 8. They had a big play, and they came off the sideline all frustrated. I looked at them guys and goes, guys, that's on me. I had you in the wrong spot. I'm going to own up, that's on me. You guys did nothing wrong. All right? And that's big, because they trust that, okay, I said, I'm going to make that change, and we'll put that 3 technique out to a 4-eye if we have to. Okay? Taking ownership on it. I meet with those kids a lot. Fortunate, I do work at the high school, so we have morning meetings. I know those guys, I know they bring them on Saturday mornings, and they watch film, kind of put it to bed right away on Saturday. I usually meet with the defensive guys on Monday morning. Easiest way to get them there, tell them you're going to bring some donuts. You'll be surprised how fast they show up. During practice time, and it's just not talking about football. I want to get to know them. Okay, how's your classes going? Okay, what's life at home? Is everything okay? Okay, I want to get to know these guys and build that relationship between them, and help strengthen that trust, and helps them become more disciplined, because we know whose job is whose, and we're all going to come together with it. Go ahead, next one. Player-to-player stuff, like Xavier coach had said it. I don't know how many times we say it throughout the year. Do your job. Okay, you got to do your job. Every single player. If you're not doing your job, you're not going to have a job anymore. I tell them, if I come to school and I'm a science teacher, if I go to the wood shop and want to build a shed one day, okay, 1, the shed's going to suck because I'm trying to build it. 2, my principal's gonna come down and fire my ass, because I'm not gonna be doing my science job, okay? Same thing goes with the football field. Do your job every single play. Understand your teammate's job. My linebacker needs to understand what the 4I is supposed to do. My DN needs to understand what the linebacker behind him is going to do. Okay? Every person needs to have a full understanding what the whole goal is as a group. We don't want them to specialize in, I'm just a corner, I'm just a man-to-man, that's all I care about. Hell no. You gotta know your run fit, you gotta know the outside linebacker's run fit. One thing I tell like my DN, our starting DN probably could have gone and played D2, D1 if you wanted to. He's trying to play basketball now. One of the smartest guys in the field. When I told him, because he's like, why do I need to know what the outside backer's doing? Why do I need to know what the corner's doing? I said, because if you're in that huddle and our outside backer gets injured, okay, and I got to send in the backup, might be a sophomore kid, it's the first time ever stepping on a football field, who's going to help him out? There's no other outside linebacker there to help him. You got to be able to turn around and help communicate to him on where he might have to go. Okay? Because he's probably shit his pants because he's out of the field for the first time on a Friday night. Okay? So they all got to kind of figure it out and know it all together. These are our purposes. And again, kind of know when, what, and why we do things. Why are we in a 5 front? We will do a lot of, we'll jump into 40 fronts if we see a lot of spread teams. And we saw about 5 or 6, it seems to be the trend. Every time I pop on film, I'm like, Christ, it's another spread team. Okay, does anyone run the ball anymore? There's 4 receivers all over the place, so we'll jump into a 4 front. And I want those kids to know why we're doing what we're doing within this. Go ahead. All right, looking at our defense, kind of what we do and what's worked for us with everything. We'll go D linemen, a little bit of our linebackers, and then our DBs as well. Go ahead and hit this one. Our D linemen are gap control. The picture here showing a 4-man front. This was us playing against Little Chute level 4 last year. They were a spread team. We ran a little bit of a 5 front in the second half when we had to stop the run against them. 3 staples that we put to them: the importance of the feet, the importance of the hands, and the importance of the speed off the ball for them. Where do you coach at?
North,
Eau Claire North? Oh, mother. So you, yeah, old man used to work with you guys. He's trying to give you up. He bowling softball now. Okay, so who's your toughest competition?
Menominee, Chippewa.
Okay, Menominee Chippewa. All week on their offense, they're running scout team. Every time they snap the ball, they're practicing 1 yard across the line of scrimmage. Okay, correct? Everyone. Your offense practices, you snap the ball, what do they do right away throughout the week? They move the ball 1 yard across the line of scrimmage. Just by getting speed off the ball, if my D lineman can reestablish 1 yard the other direction, we just screwed up everything they practiced all week. Because all week they practiced going 1 yard forward. You get them going 1 yard back, you instantly screw everything that they did practice timing-wise. Okay, because now they're doing something that they didn't do all week. Our line never practices, okay, this play, guys, I want you to take a step back 1 yard. All right? I don't think we pass pro ever. Okay? So we really work on that. This is what, the importance of the feet when we picked up a couple years ago watching film. We see a decent amount of option teams and a decent amount of trap stuff. Our D linemen, DNs, which are stand-up, our TNT, our tackle, nose tackle, whichever side of the ball they are, we emphasize that your inside foot has to be forward. Okay, so DNs, right side of the ball, left foot must be forward. If you're a tackle in a 3 or a 4-eye, your left foot must be forward. Same thing on the other side. Projector's the ball. I'm over here on this side. My right foot has to be forward. Here was the reason for that. Obviously, his first step is going to be back foot coming forward. Okay? If he's unblocked, all right, so he knows he's either getting trapped or he's going to have to close on the fullback. He must pivot on that foot instantly and automatically close. Okay? So it's a 1 step. I'm across the line, I'm unblocked, I'm redirecting and closing. If he switches his feet, okay, now I step right, how the hell am I going to go that way? I got to take another step, and then I got to go. I gave myself a bonus step. It's all about time. Do I take 2 steps or 1 step? What's faster? All right? Chris Madison's in the wrong stance. Go figure. Okay. Dr. J with his club had 2 pins put in his finger. He's actually in the right spot. I wish you guys could all have a conversation with Dr. J.
No.
Dr. J broke his finger against Osceola, right? Had surgery on Monday, right? Had 3 pins put in. Okay. Didn't practice Tuesday, leading up to 12-4. Practiced Wednesday, I think. Wednesday after practice, we're like, hey, Dr. J, how's the finger feel? It feels like I got some pins through it. You do, Dr. J. You got 3 of them through the finger. Okay. A college recruiter even called me the other day. He goes, a good buddy of mine from college, he goes, we just had Dr. J in our office. Is he? Yeah. That's Dr. J. Okay, we just want to make sure. He'll play his ass off for you, but here's what they could do. Okay. Hands. Again, Doc's got it good. We want those hands out in front. Okay. Chris, again, we got to kick him in the ass. We want to see that left hand out in front. Because where's it got to go anyway to engage the lineman? It's got to go there right away anyway. So why bring it from the hip? You better might as well get it already in front. We preach flat back, high hands, engage, pad level, stay low, and drive. Hands above the face. Okay? Engage the hands, drive, and react. Alright? Go ahead and hit it. Alright, our TNT. So we basically break our alignment into 2 groups. Our tackle, most tackle, work with Bird. Our DNs usually work with Coach Hook. One thing that Bird had picked up a couple of years ago, we got some nice single-man drive sleds. He throws some 45 points and stuff on them. Working on pad level and staying low. He makes them drive the sleds underneath the chutes. Okay? Down and back, staying underneath the chutes the entire time. Working on pad level, flat back, engaging the hands, keeping the hands engaged, keeping separation the entire time. The redirect and close, we'll do a simple one-on-one drill. Again, with the back foot forward, maybe alignment in front. If he engages, he's got to engage and drive his hands and run his feet. Okay? If he completely avoids him, again, 1 step. He's got to plant on that foot, he's got to redirect now. Okay? Because if you go 2 or 3, that track block creates a big hole. If you go 2 or 3, that quarterback's giving it to the fullback and he's already passed you. Okay, so we work quickness with the redirect a lot with them. Our DNs, with our hands on and squeeze, Coach D works with them a bunch. Dip, rip, and run is another thing. We're going to come on here again. So our DNs are usually stand-up guys. They got to be studs for us. 6'4", I don't know how big he was. He's never going to make a sack in his life, but he can close on a kicking tackle pretty easily. Condor arms up there on the top. One of the best ones we've had. State finalist in the triple. And 110 hurdles, made sectional. So anyway, if he's my DN, or I'm the DN, and he's my tackle, okay? Their job, obviously, inside foot's forward. I'll go this way so once you guys can see me. Okay? Switch your stance. Okay? We teach them wrestle half the bear. Alright? I'm not going to engage the whole body and wrestle the entire bear. Alright? I'm going to wrestle half the man. Okay? Much easier to wrestle half the bear than the whole bear. Alright? So his job is hands on and keep half the bear. Keep separation. That's why we like next big tall guys. They have big long arms and aren't fit in front. Okay? If he down blocks, his job is as best as he can to keep his shoulders square to the line of scrimmage, hands on, and squeeze. Stay ass to ass. All the way down the line. Because if he's got a kick out coming, he can instantly hit it with the inside arm, shoulder square, keep the outside arm free. If he's being read, he can still keep his shoulder square. It's a much harder read, whereas if he turns and goes, that's an easy read for a quarterback. Okay, so he's keeping his shoulder square. If he gets a reach block, he's obviously fighting like hell to keep the outside. If he can't, we preach dip, rip, and run. He's going to rip here, and he's going to throw the arm through and try to fight to keep the edge, and not just run laterally. He's told to push into the backfield as he does it. It's our linebacker's job to then read that and know where to fit as an alley run. Okay? And they work those 2 things constantly. I know DeSalle works with those DNs a bunch as well. It's hands-on and squeeze, it's dip, rip, and run, it's lockout every day at practice with those guys. Go ahead and hit it. Linebackers, this is my passion, this is my group. We emphasize two things. They are read and react. I want to say in the 14 games we played, right, last year, I maybe called 3 blitzes the entire season. Okay? And that was in the state finals because we couldn't get to Elijah Alt and get him on the ground. All right, so we had to start sending pressure because he was chucking the pigskin all over the damn field. All right, in the second half. We emphasize play side versus BCR. BCR stands for boot, cut back, reverse. Okay, my play side guys are full flow and going. If you're on the back side, you're never going to make a play on the sideline over there. You better take discipline, shoulder square, and be my boot, cut back, reverse guy on the back side. Okay, they're usually reading near back or whatever the scouting report tells them to read. And like everything else, they must understand the opponent's offense. We do intense film study. We watch it all the time. We get purpose out of it, and we want them to know where their read is and where they're supposed to fit. Go ahead. All right, we break it down 3 ways. I have my linebackers usually wearing 53 or 52 most of the time. They're reading most of the time it's the near back, and they got to see the guard with good peripheral vision. I had a sophomore this year. He had a hard time doing it. He was fresh. He was new, but he slowly figured it out. Our run fits are level 1. Guards, level 2s, tackle the tight end, level 3, going to the sideline. All right? BCR, we'll talk about those. Very good. I'll step back out again and give you an exercise. Okay? So what we do this every day as linebackers. So if he's the running back, you can stop right there. We're going to get in our stance, and if he's just going to take a step one direction or the other, I'm going to be step replace. Okay? We'll load it back up. He'll take a step replace. And I want to see all my linebackers at the same time going boom, boom. Okay, boom, boom. Step replace, step replace. So if he goes that way, and my read steps are opposite, I'm already 2 yards behind. All right, so we do reps of level 2, level 3, level 1 reads every day at practice. They get sick of it. Okay? So if he does more of a level 2 read, I'm still doing step, step, and I'm read and reacting. If he turns his shoulders and goes, I'm level 3, I'm turning and running, but I'm still trying to keep my shoulder square, reading his backside hip the entire time. I prevent the cutback. So eventually, who are we going to run into? The All-American on the sideline, who never misses a tackle. All right? You go into the next one. I got a clip, I'll show you the VCR ones in a little bit. Go ahead. All right, so this is our practice film that we break down. This was the week this finals. Our backers were reading Elijah. They were reading all because he was the man for them. Play side. So right now, we had level 2 steps. Run, read down, run, read down. Looking for the open window. Open window opens, they close it. All right? My BCR guys, the backside. They're slow. Boot cut back reverse. I get my backside outside linebacker. Essentially, his read is basically not crossing the center's nose. Okay? Constantly looking for boot cut back reverse. Our backside DN, just like we did earlier, he's shuffling down, keeping shoulders square the entire time, constantly looking for boot cut back reverse coming back to their direction. Okay? They are never going to make the play on the front side. And I tell them that all the time. You are not supposed to sprint there. You will never make that play. You sit back home and you understand your job. You did it twice. All right? So here would be an example. We get full flow. PCR guys need to see and understand the counter coming back. Wrong arm it or squeezing straight down with the inside shoulder. They're sitting on that VC on the back side. These guys, play side, are trying to close open windows, but I expect those two to be able to see that out of his peripheral. This kid saw it really well. That's why he signed with Duluth the other day. Okay? Sophomore, took him a little bit longer to figure it out, he eventually got there. But they got to see it, although they're reading the backs, if they can't see the guards, it's going to be a long day.
10 minutes, Coach.
All right, thanks. Skate to play side. Another quick one we do. Bird, come back out again. We're going to fly through this a little bit quick. If your linebackers don't know who is supposed to block them each play, they're probably going to get blocked. That's part of our film study. Yeah, you know where the ball's going. I guarantee that offense drew someone up to block you. You got to know who's supposed to block you on a given play. So we worked with it. The play I'll show you. Our inside linebacker knew when Somerset opened up one direction that he was probably getting veered down by the tackle or the tight end. Okay, so we work all the time. He comes to clear down, we'll engage, lock out, skate over the top, finish hip to hip, ass to ass. If I finish out here, two-way go. I finish nice and tight. Where's that running back got to go? I forced him one direction. Okay, go ahead. Thank you. So you can see here, Cole knew exactly. He watched more film maybe than I did. All right, he knew if they opened up this way, this kid was most likely in charge of blocking. Okay, he knew that through watching film. He knew that through the scouting reports we gave him. Okay, get the next one. He takes his eyes off what's going to be happening. He takes his eyes to actually who's supposed to block him. Okay, the next one. Go back, sorry. I can emphasize I have my BCR guys on the back side. Keeping shoulders square, shuffling down the line of scrimmage. They're not looking for play side, they're looking for boot, cut back, reverse. That's all their job is back side. Next one. Engage, hands up, locked out, skating over the top, because he knows his buddy's coming, and he knows if he tries to cut back, he's got his BCR guys on the back side. If he gets to his shoulder and seals him, there's no one there. Okay? He skates, force it back to your other inside backer. That's what it came down to. Okay? We'll keep going, we'll skip. Alright, keep going. Level 3 pass, we gotta get to the numbers. Alright. Like I said, we're man to man, guys. We emphasize it all the time. Our corners, the state finals last year, we had 5 DBs that probably had no right being DBs in the state final game. Okay? Luke Roll played his ass off. He was a scout team All-American for 2 years for us, finally worked into a starting job. He would do his best on scout team sophomore, junior year. He would know what the play was and purposely try to intercept it before they even happened. Okay? He worked his way into a starting spot for us. Other corner, fast as hell, spatial recognition was kind of tough. Then we had 2 sophomores and an ex-D lineman covering the slot. Okay? But they knew, man to man, if my guy went somewhere, I went with him. We emphasize, again, film study, understanding if they're a primary force, helping set the edge with the DNs, or if they're alley runners, or an inside out, stay on the backside hip, is what it comes down to for them. Next one. Stuff they work on every day. Inside hand punch, easy stuff. We deny the slant, slant's an easy pass, throw the ball over the top, it's a lot harder. Okay, inside hand punch, stonewall up the line of scrimmage, force them to the outside. Move the feet. Okay, you just can't throw the hand, they gotta move the feet. We refer to it as in phase and not in phase in man coverage. Once the guy gets engaged in his route, they're all focused on the hip, eyes on the hip. If you're in phase, meaning you can touch the hip, once the ball's there, you can actually look and deflect. If you're not in phase and you can't touch the hip, you're never allowed to look back. 1, you're not close enough to even cause a pass interference. 2, if you can't touch the hip, when you look back, you lose them. Okay? If I'm in phase and I can touch the hip, I look back now, I still know where he is. Okay? Then we emphasize break the arms. The slide before mentioned how I love the kid. I played his annoyance to his benefit in this game. Okay? He was that student in class that wouldn't shut up the entire time. Okay? I told Luke, I said, we're going to put you on their best kid. Okay? Their top wideout just signed with North Dakota last week. We told Luke, if he steps across the line of scrimmage, you are on his hip. That's if the play is going or if the play is not going. If the play was done, you are going to walk next to him, hip to hip, until you reach the line of scrimmage. He's going to go to his huddle, you're going to go back to your huddle. Because we wanted those kids to know if they were on our side of the ball, there was going to be someone right next to him the entire time, as wideouts. Quite honestly, I thought he was going to forget on game night. We come back on Monday morning, my counselor comes to me, he goes, what the hell was Luke Roll doing the entire game? He goes, he kept following that kid even when the play wasn't going on. I'm like, holy shit, he actually did. Okay? But he mentally, the idea was mentally wear him down that if he was on our side of the ball, he wasn't going to be alone. Okay? There was going to be someone with him the entire time. Which maybe it worked, maybe it didn't, but Go from there, nothing else. Next one. Okay, real quick, I'll through what we do weekly. Saturdays and Sundays, to me, I do the game plan stuff. I tell the kids to kind of take a break. They do watch film Saturday morning. Monday, we install game plan. Tuesday, Wednesday, we practice. Thursday, we do a little walkthrough. Friday, for us, we consider it showtime. Go. Okay? Like I said, to me, film is sex. You never have much. You never have too much. Obviously, for us, I think it's guaranteed 2 games we get from people. That's never enough for me. I will search anywhere to find whatever I can get. Okay, I urge you guys, if you're looking for it, you'll find it. Max Preps, YouTube. Kids these days, they like to tweet, post, whatever they want. Most of their stuff is public. You'll find highlight films of their entire season. Okay, because those are the big plays. When it comes down to it in the game, where they're going to go to? They're big plays. Okay. The team we played from Missouri last year, they didn't want to trade film with us. That's okay, I found your entire last season online. I already filmed it on my computer and broke it down, it's already on Hub. Thank you. Okay. From that, I developed a game plan, we looked at the tendencies. Actually, through the weekend, sometimes I didn't be messaging and talking to my inside linebacker, Cole, asking him questions. I knew the answer was, I just wanted him to think. He said, Cole, if they do this, what do you think we're going to do? We'll move them to a 2 or a 4. I said, yeah, that's right. Okay. I wanted him to understand what's going on in front of him, and I'd be questioning him the entire time. Go. Okay. I want to get kids to film in the morning, bring donuts. Okay. I'll even cook up some eggs in the morning. If they're really lucky, I'll bring some bacon. Okay. Linemen come real quick. Then. All right. I hand out a game plan for them on Monday mornings from the stuff I do over the weekend. Our game plan pretty much looks up just like that. It'll have their top formations and the tendencies within each formation. Okay? It'll have our checks and adjustments. It'll have our weekly goals. On the back side, I usually write down their 4 top plays, which most of the time the teams that we play, their 4 top plays are about 80% of their offense. And I draw exactly how I anticipate them blocking us. So my inside linebacker, my outside linebacker, they know if we see a kick out, who's coming for them. There's someone drawn up to come from, you better know who it is. Alright? And we'll talk about weekly goals. Practice on Monday for us, formation adjustment, checks, knowing what we're going to do, where we're going to line up. Basically install basics right away. Okay, next one. Our Tuesday, I have film with them on Monday, on every morning. If I have teacher meetings or whatever, I just have it queued up in my room ready to play. If there's notes from the practice before, I already have the notes saved. I just say, hey guys, come in, hit play, go through the notes, see you on the practice field. Okay? It's really easy. I don't then expect them to go watch it on their own. It's 10 or 15 minutes before the bell rings before first out for us. Okay, it's real quick and easy. And again, it's one of those times where I can talk to the guys and get to know them. Develop that relationship, develop that connection with them, that trust between player and coach. Practice, indie time. If it's a spread team, we'll devote some time to 7-on-7. If it's a main run team, we may devote some time to inside run fits. During our team defense, again, we do the two groups. We do a play group, we do a formation group. Again, spending time on the play cards, numbering people, actually identifying on a spread team. I'll even write on an out, I'll write 5 yards and then out. I was tired of seeing 15-yard bananas on a 5-yard out. But if it's actually written on the card, the kid knows where to go. It takes me a couple more minutes, but it saves me one hell of a headache at practice because the kid knows where his cut's supposed to be. Seeing wheel routes that look like dawns. Okay? Some of you guys who are laughing probably know exactly what I mean. And then a formation group, and we film it. I may play it for them to watch it, or I might just be watching myself, and I'll learn from it. Go. Thursday, pretty simple. We don't do any indie. It's a walkthrough for us. It's just tops. Our main goal as a defense for Thursdays is clear minds. If you have any more questions, you better ask them. I almost pulled my hair up a couple weeks. Friday morning, or Friday, a couple hours before the game, I got my outside linebacker asking me a couple questions on a couple checks. I said, dude, we're going to play in like an hour. Ask this on Thursday or on Wednesday. Okay? Have a clear mind by the time we get there. Alright? Next one. On Fridays, biggest thing, Kurt, who I work closely, is basically one of our big D guys as well. He usually calms me down most of the time, because if they do something like, shit, we gotta adjust. He goes, no, we're fine, we don't need to adjust. We worked on it all week, we just gotta play better. Okay, the kid's there, he just didn't make the play. Okay, so instead of doing quick adjustments, it's no, we're fine. Trust the game plan, play better, is what we'll talk to. If you don't have huddle sideline, where it was the first year we had it, that was a couple games in my mind. Okay, we have one freshman that's designated to hold our place on our field iPad. If we're on defense, he hands it to Bird. For an offense, he brings it over to me. Our other D guy that's up in the box is watching on his phone the entire time. We're checking plays, we're marking plays. A lot of times I have freshmen that have formation charts or play charts. They're marking just simple stuff of right or left on third or whatever downs, so we can start to pick up tendencies within the game as well. Just basic stuff. Halftime questions, we always meet, we talk to each other. What's working for us, what's working for them? What's not working, okay? What do we expect to happen in the second half? Do we actually need to adjust at this time, okay? Usually we like to show our kids a lot of the clips from first half during halftime when there's a little more time, because we're playing both sides of the ball. It's hard to talk to the kids around the field. And we'll show them the clips and we'll talk about adjustments then. Okay. If we do have time during timeouts, we do show them the best we can. I don't think I could ever coach without that huddle sideline now. It's awesome. Love it.
2 minutes,
Whatever
coach.
system you guys use.
2 minutes, coach.
Okay. Good job. I know I went fast. Do you guys have any questions? Some of the stuff that we do. So it's worked for us. If you're a 4-man front, 5-man front, we usually run a lot of both now, as well as spread teams. Yeah.
So we talked about doing a lot of inside hand pressing, inside hand punch rather than your D-back.
Yep.
So you're doing a lot of pressing at the line?
Most of the time, yes. We'll talk to the DBs, and a lot of times it's game plan stuff, week-to-week stuff. What we prefer is, we're at the line of scrimmage, we're inside hand punch. Luke actually had called offsides a couple times this year because he was covering a slot receiver, not the end receiver, and didn't realize he was in the neutral zone. Game plan wise, if we had a couple teams last year that we knew they didn't throw slants, they threw a ton of fades. So we actually backed them off maybe 2 yards or something outside shade. We were still man-to-man, we were still all over them. But now we said outside linebackers, you better come help out on the slants. Yeah, wherever they go, we go. Inside hand, in the pocket. And the refs at Camp Brown this year was telling us that we were too physical with the wide receivers because their sidelines were bitching. Sorry for anyone who's remembering that. But we tell our DBs, once you get that punch, once you're engaged running with them, we want him to run and rip into his arm the entire time and continue to push to the sideline. Okay? I don't want to see any gap between the hips. Because one, it's going to slow him down because he's got to run with somewhere into his arm the entire time. Two, it's slowly getting him off this route and pushes to the sideline the entire time. We were told we were getting too handsy and too physical with the guys past the line of scrimmage. I said, well, if you're not going to throw a flag, I'm not going to change. Okay? And he kind of smiled and kind of so, we're physical, however, and we do it usually on an island, unless lots of teams will put a free safety on top of it.
Okay.
That's best we can.
So if you have an outside guy really pressing there, how far off are you when the inside guys?
We tell them if they're close enough where they feel there could be pick routes, they have to be on 2 different levels. If they're far enough apart where Tarp usually gives them like a 6 to 7 yard range, if they're far enough apart, we'll try to press them both. Otherwise, we just say, you guys got to be on 2 different levels. If we know there's one guy that we want to press all the time no matter what, we'll always make sure he's on the line, the other one's off. Otherwise, we say, okay, corner, you're more comfortable pressing. We'll just drop off that slot receiver. So a lot of it comes down to communication between them on the field. If we see bunch stuff, there are a few times we will do some approach checks where we may just press the front guy and maybe do what's called an IO coverage. You take the up break, you take the deep break, because then you're picking yourself with bunch stuff. So we do a little bit of zone coverage with bunch stuff. we're all.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any others? You guys have any questions at all? You can find me. I'll be here till about, I gotta leave at lunch. I got a 4-year-old nephew's birthday party to go to. So, find me, ask me if you don't want to ask now. So, thanks guys.